What's up, YouTube? This is your big brother, King Jabez. Back today with another very important message. Please subscribe to my channel, like this video, share this video, leave a comment, let me know what you think about my content. In addition to that, please feel free to follow me over on Instagram at the King Jabez. For those who want to talk to me one-on-one, I do offer consultations. Whatever you decide to do, it will be greatly appreciated. Let's do some work. Today's video is entitled, After Isolation, the Chosen become too gifted to be too available. This is an important teaching I want to give today and really break this down. When you have been through the process and you have developed yourself, sharpened your tool set, got gifts, abilities, those of you who are artists, entrepreneurs, tradesmen, the women who follow this who are working with their business, who may be into modeling, business themselves as well, spiritual work, whatever it is that you're doing where you have proven that you are good at this, that you are capable, and you are willing, you have to put guards around your time. People will use you if you allow them to. So here's the message. You are a servant of the Most High, not a slave of people. That part. People will run you into the ground if you allow them to and not add any value to your life at all. Here is a mistake that I made part of my 20s. I caught on eventually and transitioned into thinking for myself. And this is when I began to have conflict with people. See, once you start standing up for yourself, you start running into some conflicts. It's always all good as long as you say yes to everything. And when you early 20s, up and coming, you're trying to prove your worth. I understand you're trying to show that you're capable. And as a man, young man, you have young men as well as young women who see this. You think back in your 20s, you're capable of much responsibility. Right? You have that strength, you have that youth, that fire, that desire to get things done. And older men and women who have the resources, the positions, and the power, the corporations, the organizations, the labels, you know what I mean? They got all the power, the money. They will run a young, talented person right into the ground. Do you hear me? So you have to learn how to say no. You cannot be too available in this world. When you're too available, you get exploited. Now, if you're available and you're being compensated for your time, man, do what you got to do. Ball till you fall. You know what I mean? I'm going to put it out there like that. So this is not saying not to work all day if you need to. I don't care. 12 hours, get to it. You know what I mean? All that. Kevin Gates, I don't get tired. So I'm not saying don't grind. You got to grind, my boy. You got to grind, sis. All that. But what I'm saying in this video, don't let people use you. And don't let people, especially if you're doing spiritual work, manipulate you with the Bible. Don't let people do you like that. If you are a light worker, you're giving spirituality content like this. Let me go ahead and speak up for you real quick. Don't let people use you. Don't let people treat you like you're just somebody they can just exploit. Because they will. They're not going to exploit no doctor. They're not going to exploit no lawyer who has been trained and has credentials. And so when you have been trained and you have credentials, I'm going to speak up for the life coaches, light workers, counselors, mentors. Don't let people play with you. I had somebody tell me recently, she quoted Matthew 6:33. She told me, seek ye first kingdom of God, his righteousness, all these things be added unto you, right? I've been doing that verse for a long time, right? And she basically was telling me after that verse, I should be doing this for free. You feel me? And and so I didn't respond to her. You come talk crazy to me like that, I'm going to just, swipe left, But this is a good teaching moment for those of you who do this type of work. That is one verse, but there are other verses in the scriptures. And it talks about how people will dishonor you by withholding gifts. Because one way to honor the man of God, the woman of God, is to give gifts, which is what they brought to King Solomon, which is what they brought to David. In the New Testament with the priests and prophets, they were given gifts or a double portion according to 2 Timothy, which is talking about financial resources. If you speak the word, you should live by the word. These are all principles. So in 1 Samuel, 2 Timothy, so don't come to me with one verse, my boy, sis. Put that spiritual BB gun away. That's one verse. You honor the man of God, woman of God, not just with talk. And so people will try to exploit you on that level. People will exploit your relationship. This can also happen with family. Family comes first. God comes first in your purpose in your own direct family. That's the proper order. God, your purpose, what you're going to do, and your immediate family, meaning your woman and your kids, your wife and your kids, your baby mama and your kids, whoever you're living with. That's what comes first. Your extended family, you give and share what you can. Okay, let's be clear on this. You're not going to guilt trip me into overextending my resources. This is what we mean by being too available. And when you do this, you know, once you start saying no, this is when the nature relationship begins to change, and now it's this guilt, and you used to do this, and you don't spend enough time around us, and happens in families a lot. I've seen this happen in other families. I've seen it happen in my family. I've seen it happen in my own life and in the lives of other family members. There's something about a particular family member taking off that makes some of the other family members feel threatened or less important. And it's not that you're blowing them off. Some of you feel this way. You be feeling like somebody's blowing you off. It's not that they're working on their assignment. So if they're working a job and they're taking classes at night or taking classes in the morning or whatever they're doing, working an additional job, trying to build a business, they may not have as much time to spend with you anymore, sis. They may not have as much time to spend with you, bro. And that's not personal. And so, when a family member is no longer as available as you want them to be, this doesn't mean they don't love you. The love for you doesn't mean I have to sacrifice my purpose. Because when you're trying to do something that's important, it's going to require a lot of your time. A lot of your time. Sometimes 8 hours of your day, 10 hours of your day, some cases 12 hours of your day. And if I can reach out and help you in addition to that, great. If I can't, it is what it is. If you hear a message like this and you're wondering, okay, how do I know when I am being devalued or if I'm being overextending myself? You will know you're overextending yourself. I've already answered that. When you feel devalued. You will know you are too available when you feel used. You will know you are too available when the monetary compensation doesn't match the effort you're putting out. You are to be used by God. You are not to be used by people. That part. There is a difference between being a servant of God and a slave to people. So when you are no longer available to them at the time they want you, and this happens even in relationships too. You be careful being too available in a relationship. In other words, you have to put value on yourself. You have to do that. And sometimes the only way to do that is to put some boundaries around your time. In other words, you need to plan your own day out. Stop letting other people, sis, bro, plan your day partially for you. Get control over your time. Get control over your schedule. Get control over how you use your talents. And this is why I say so clearly, the chosen are too talented to be too available. Because when you have talent, that means you have value. You have worth. And when you have value and worth, there are people who want to exploit that. Is this making sense? There are people who want to use what you know, what you can do, what is available for their own benefit. And you got to be careful with that. And the fun thing about this, they will respect someone who demands respect for what they're doing. You draw? So they'll just play like you just nobody, and they'll give someone else the respect that is due to you as well because that person is demanding it. Real talk. So what are we saying? There are times in life where you got to speak up for yourself. Being a chosen one doesn't mean being a pushover. Being spiritual doesn't mean that you're weak. Spirituality means you're in tune with God in the spirit realm. Doesn't mean that you're a pushover. It doesn't mean that you're here to let people exploit you. Let's be clear on that. Chosen one doesn't mean chosen fool. Chosen one doesn't mean chosen dummy. Chosen one doesn't mean chosen punk. That's the type of time I'm on today. Because sometimes people think you are a punk because you believe in God. They think you are a punk because you got some sense. And you got to kind of let people know, okay, I've chosen to be this way. I'm not this way because I'm scared of you. Let's go ahead and bring it home today. I am carrying myself this way because I have standards and a new way of thinking. I see what you're doing. I'm not a fool. I can see that weak game a mile away. You know, we got to say in Chicago, good game, wrong lane. I see that good game, wrong lane. Wrong person. Hit the brakes, quick. You know what I mean? And when you begin to expose people, when you start showing them I'm on to you, that's when they start getting defensive. And people at times have treated you so bad that they have no choice now but to act like you did something to them. This is where the games come in at. And that's fine. We're willing to deal with that. We're going to address this head on. You are not going to let people use you in 2025. Let's put that out there. 333 on my time when I said that. Let me say that again. It's a good time. 333. We are not letting people use us in 2025. I'm not saying you can't be charitable, because you can do that. You can be kind, but you can't be foolish. And we have to be careful overextending our resources, whether that be money or time or gifts, whatever it is. You, as a chosen man, chosen woman, are responsible to steward your time. To kind of bring this message home, the value of this content, of this video, is this. You, sir, ma'am, are responsible for how you spend your time. You are responsible for how you use your gifts. You're responsible to say yes to some commitments and no to others. And this is something I had to learn. And like I say, I give you all advice. I really struggled with this in my 20s. And this is a lesson I want to give to you guys who hear this. So, granted, you know, part of it is paying your dues. Let me put that out there. Let me give it that clear disclaimer. Okay, nothing wrong with paying your dues for a year or 2 or 3 or 4 or even 5. You gotta pay your dues. You gotta start somewhere. So let me put that out there. But at some point, you have to outgrow that and be who you want to be. Does this make sense? So as you go through the process and discover your gifts, you start learning how to use your time and talent the right way. And so what are we talking about? We're talking about wisdom. We're talking about wisdom. And scripture says, if any man lacks wisdom, to ask God to give to all men liberally. So there are times, simply put, when we don't know what to do. And maybe some of you feel that way right now. You out here, you know, big bro, man, I feel lost. I don't know what to do. And so it's time to ask for wisdom. And that comes through reading. That comes through having mentors, work experience. You can't get wisdom doing nothing. So let me put that out there too. So you got to do something. So the positive rather to that is that I learned a lot through those experiences and gained a lot of wisdom. So you can't gain wisdom just simply from reading and study. You got to do. So you got to get out here in the real world and explore, you know, and have different experiences. Learn how to work with men. Learn how to work with women. You got to do both. You got to learn how to work in the real world. And that's going to help you to grow and increase your confidence. You will not grow and increase your confidence being by yourself. You have to be around real people. And those different experiences will help you to learn how to communicate, how to carry yourself. Those C's we talk about all the time, your character, your conversation, the way you conduct yourself, that will happen over time. So, ladies, men, thanks for listening to this video. I'm sure it'll add some value to your life. This is your big bro, King Jabez. God bless. Peace.